Christmas, beautiful people. It's Pretty Girl Love Chat content here with a Home Alone recap and review. Okay, so thank you for clicking on this video. I also would like to say again, Merry Christmas. I am sounding a little raspy in terms of my voice, so please excuse me. I am just getting over a little sickness. And thank you for, liking this video because I know you like this video already, right? Okay, we got that checked. We got the subscriber. Are you a subscriber? Is that checked? Okay, thank you. Please, I'm blessing you with a little Christmas gift. So please bless me with a like and a subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, okay? So let's get into it. Because I'm sure like 99% of America or maybe even the world have heard or have seen Home Alone. I am hoping, okay? But if not, don't fear because I will catch you up. Okay? So Home Alone is a beautiful story, okay, of an 8-year-old boy from the suburbs of the outskirts of Chicago, okay? This 8-year-old boy is named Kevin. And all Kevin wants out of life is fairness, love, compassion. And in this quest for these things, it pretty much turns into and evolves into heroic events. And that actually ends up saving his family's home as well as his neighbor's home, okay? So he is a town hero, and I feel like he deserves justice, okay? Because Kevin is faced with several enemies, okay? I will call them haters, okay? But it's okay because we know the truth, okay? So let's get into it, okay? So the movie begins with a house filled with family members. Okay, we have a huge, great house. It seems like Kevin's parents, Peter and Kate, have been doing very well for themselves. Okay, we are going to Paris. Okay, on a lovely vacation. All right, that has been provided from Rob, who is Peter's brother. Okay, so Rob, and thanks for Peter for allowing his kids to remain in school while Rob has a new job in Paris. So, Rob thought it would be fitting to have Peter and his family, as well as Uncle Frank and his family, come to Paris to celebrate. Okay, that's very sweet of Rob. Okay, because we have approximately 15 people that we are flying out, and that is no cheap feat. Okay, so in the midst of all these people in the home, I guess someone felt it was okay to let in a police officer, okay? And I'm using quotations because this police officer is not who he actually, is outfitted to be, all right? But it's okay because we have Ruckus, of course, the quote unquote police officer is trying to get information and he's not getting the things he needs, okay? Which turns out to be a good thing in a sense, okay? But he gets too much information for my being, okay? Nobody is questioning why he's in the house, who let him in, but it's okay. We're in the 80s. We're a affluent family. It's the suburbs. It's a police officer. It's the holidays. Nobody is questioning this, right? Okay. So Kevin, just being the doubting 8-year-old that he is, he just wants to enjoy life with his family, right? But what task is he asked to complete? He is asked to pack his suitcase. Is it me or is an 8-year-old really fitting to pack its own suitcase? Now, I would like to say, hey, maybe it's possible that his mother or father, let out his clothes, put it on a pile in his bed for him just to insert his clothing in his suitcase. I would like to say that, but for some particular reason, based on the event and the way that Kevin has been treated, I don't think that happened. I truly I think that Kevin was given the responsibility to figure out what to wear out of the country to Paris by his parents. So we already start with some, I want to curse, but I'm not going to curse. I had to stop myself. But Kevin, we already see what he's dealing with, right? Okay. And then the pizza guy shows up, okay? We have approximately 10 pizzas and we have about 15 people, right? So we can do the math here. So when Kevin goes to get a cheese pizza, because that's the only pizza he prefers, we see that Buzz, his older brother, is gloating and disrespecting Kevin in his face. by just grossly inserting the pizza in his mouth. Why is it that there are no more pizzas left, family? There's 15 people, 10 pizzas. That's several slices a person. The math does not math. No one cares about little Kevin. Kevin is the youngest child of Kate and Peter. They did not foresee the need to ensure that Kevin got his own slice of pizza, even if it was just one. So that is a bothering question, okay? Another fact, Uncle Frank is the cheap uncle, okay? Uncle Frank had no problem taking said pizzas off the police pizza delivery guy, right? But he refuses to pay. He said, no, my brother Peter will pay for them because Uncle Frank said he had traveler's checks. And of course, the police and delivery guy probably is not accepting that, right? So we already know off rip, Uncle Frank is a jerk. Okay. And he actually used that terminology to Kevin, but we're going to use that. That's a whole nother argument for a whole nother day. Okay. So let's get back to Buzz, right? Because he was completely, antagonizing Kevin. So you know what, Kevin, all the anger and hunger and frustration. Yes, he did decide to attack Buzz. Okay. And that, pretty much turned into a whole catastrophe in the dining room. Okay, we spilled milk. We have people getting hit. It's a whole big mess. Okay. And when it's over, everyone's staring at poor little 8-year-old Kevin. And of course, immediately he is at fault. Okay. And so upon people putting the wet paper towels and napkins in the trash that's, soaked up with milk, we see that there's a ticket inside of the trash can. And whose name is on said ticket? Kevin. Why is Kevin's ticket in the trash? My more important question is, who put this ticket in the trash? Now, was it divine intervention because God knew that Kevin was the only one that's going to be able to handle said task that's going to occur throughout this movie? Or was it Buzz? Was it Uncle Frank? We have so many suspects, but we do not have time to do a full-on investigation because everything worked out on its own, right? Okay, let's move on. Said punishment for Kevin is to sleep with Fuller, who pees the bed and loves Pepsi and Coke. Okay, and they only have the, attic, which was available for them to sleep in. Okay, so these are dark dwellings and sleeping arrangements, but we have to sleep on a sofa bed with Fuller. Now, mind you, when Kevin was, ushered to his room by his mom, he was talking very much reckless and disrespectful. He called them jerks. He said he don't want to even be in this family ever again. He said some hurtful things, and I will hold Kevin accountable for this. But at the end of the day, I don't think it's right for him to have to sleep with Fuller, okay? Fuller needs to get some Depends, some diapers. I don't know. But Uncle Frank, I'm going to need you and your wife, okay, Aunt Leslie, to get it together because we cannot continuously have Fuller sleep over at the family's house and mess up their good mattresses, okay? Please and thank you, Uncle Frank and Aunt Leslie, in advance, all right? So we wake up the next morning and the whole family is overslept, okay? So over the night, there was an electrical outage, okay, due to some weather issues. Thereby, their alarm clock was not set, properly because, the powers that be. So we wake up because our goal was 8 o'clock. Okay. We wake up and we realize we slept up. So the family is going all over the place, running rampant, trying to get ready because we have to catch a flight very quickly. Okay. So we over here outside trying to go into the shuttle. Okay. Now we have Mitch Murphy. He is a talkative, okay, to say the least, a talkative, nosy neighbor, okay, about the same height and age of Kevin, okay? So the powers that be, oh God, I want to laugh to keep from crying. because Mitch was accidentally counted towards the children. Okay. So there was a count of 11 children. And then, you know, he politely went back home. Okay. So we think we have all the kids, right? So we leave and go to the airport. And then, of course, we have to rush and dart to the plane, okay? Because we have no time to waste. All right. But after a while, Kate, Kevin's mom, her mother intuition kicks in, right? But she can't quite figure out what the thing is. What is bothering her? Did she leave the garage door open? You know, did she leave her blow dryer unplugged? She don't really know. But she will find out soon. All right. Meanwhile, Kevin, who was sentenced, and I'm saying sentenced personally and, you know, on purpose, okay, sentenced to sleep on the third floor, which means that Fuller did not sleep with him. So they afforded Fuller the opportunity to sleep elsewhere. So Kevin, as a punishment, had to sleep by himself. If you guys don't understand where I'm going, Kevin was set up from the get-go. All right. So he wakes up confused because what? Last night we had a house full of people. We wake up to an empty house. He was very much confused and realized that he was very alone. But once he realized that this was a blessing in disguise, things changed. Okay. This confusion turned into appreciation because I think at the very young age, Kevin understood the meaning of speaking things into existence. Okay. Last night, he said he don't want to be a part of this family. He wanted to go on vacation by himself and alone. And he feels that his wish has been granted. So yes, Kevin treated that day like such a blessing. We went over there. We had ice cream. We watched Rubbish. We over here eating snacks, jumping on our parents' bed. We playing with BB guns. We over here sledding down the stairs. I mean, we are living our best 8-year-old life. Best 8-year-old life. And then on the other side of the world, we have Kate, who is in first class, mind you, and the rest of the family is in, well, I would say the kids, okay? They are in coach, okay? And that's another way why they couldn't keep tabs on their kids because they were in another section on the plane. And so Kate realized that she left Kevin, okay? We did not see them search for Kevin on the plane, but we are to assume they did a search and he was not there. So, of course, we're stuck and have to wait till we land to figure out what we need to do, okay? And so they get off said plane. She uses her phone book to try to call everyone, but all the neighbors are apparently out of town, okay? Oh, Lord, this is so stressful, you guys. So we asked the airport, you know, the authorities to send a police officer there to the house to check on Kevin, right? Meanwhile, Kevin is at home sleep. He's completing a well-deserved nap, but he's woken up because he's low-key in a sugar coma because we had all of the snacks, all of the ice cream, right? And so we see Harry and Marv outside. We see Shadow. So Kevin, of course, he's alerted. So what did this 8-year-old decide to do? This young, great mind, he decided to turn on all of the 55 lights in the house, thereby scaring away Harry and Marv because those are two cat burglars. Okay. And mind you, Harry was the quote unquote police officer that was kind of staking out the house and trying to be nosy the previous night. Okay. But we don't really completely, you know that in terms of Kevin's point of view, right? So not too long after that, the police officer that Kate asked to, visit the home knocks on the door. But at this point, Kevin is too scared under the bed because he probably is thinking that these are the robbers that's trying to get into his house. So no, he is not knocking on, he's not going to the door and addressing said knock. And then we have the insensitive police officer that tells and dispatch, the dispatcher is like, hey, tell those people to recount their kids because we have people that's obviously making frivolous attempts to ask the police officers to waste their time. And I feel like that was another opportunity we could have used, okay? Because if Kate and Peter knew that Kevin was possibly home, I feel like we needed to bug the police officers several times and make sure they came to the house numerous times, okay? They should have been at that house every hour on the hour. And hell, if they needed to break in, they should have broken it. I don't care. And it seems like Peter was affluent enough to where he had a good relationship with the town. So you wasn't rubbing any shoulders with any police officers or any authority figures? Did we not have any options? But let's move on. So Kate and the family tried to find another flight back home because we have, we're at the airport still, right? But apparently the next available flight is not until Friday morning, which is 2 days away. So we're thinking, okay, it's most likely Wednesday, right? So we have 2 days that we would have to wait. But Kate is not happy. She's asking about a private plane option. I said, oh, we over here big pimping, spending cheese. We have a lot of money over here, but I'm not mad. I appreciate her due diligence from trying to get to her son, okay? But, the desk agent said, hey, we go place you on standby and see what we can get you, okay? Oh, this is stressful, you guys. So the rest of the family decides to go to Uncle Rob's house and try to make the best of it, okay? Because we can't all 15 of us get on a flight near Christmas, okay? So Kevin, he's doing the mature things in life. He's like, you know what? I need to ensure that I get a replacement toothbrush, and that is approved by the American Dental Association. So he goes into the store and he spots Old Man Marley. Now you have Kevin PTSD of Old Man Marley. We have that to thank. We have to thank Buzz for putting up these rumors about Old Man Marley, okay? Because he was told to be a serial killer. So Kevin, being 8 years old, because yes, he is a mature 8-year-old, he's done a lot of things, but at the end of the day, he's human. So he got scared and ended up leaving the store without paying for the toothbrush, okay? But the clerk was petty enough to actually ask someone to get Kevin. And then, of course, said stock boy asked the police officer to get Kevin because he's a shoplifter. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm all about, abiding by the law and making sure the crimes are not being done. But let Kevin go. The toothbrush was probably 97 cents. So Kevin had to evade the police. And that was very much stressful on this young man's heart. And I can imagine, Kevin, I'm sorry. If I don't remember to tell you sorry by the end of this review, I'm telling you right now, okay? Oh, gosh. So Kevin gets home. And so we remember he steered the robbers away, the first night by turning on the lights. So he got wind of their plan to return. So he decided to throw a fake party to make it appear that his home was vibrant and full of people. I mean, this resourceful young man has used all of the things. We have Michael Jordan cutouts. We have music. We have strings. I mean, Kevin, if your calling wasn't promotion and party planning, then, I mean, that probably would have been a good avenue for you, young man, because you did your thing, young fella. So that steered the robbers away just temporarily, right? Because Harry knew that the family was going to Paris. And he knew, okay, something's not quite right. The family did not return, so we'll come back. We'll come back around 9 o'clock, right? Meanwhile, Kevin, of course, he's 8. He doesn't have a job. He doesn't have steady income. So he needed to figure out how he was going to survive. Because most likely, Kate and Peter did not go grocery shopping because they were supposed to be on vacation, right? So Kevin, yes, he did go into Buzz's room and took his life savings. And I think that is definitely a small price to pay, considering that he saved all of the family heirlooms, right? So Kevin, he takes Buzz life savings. And what did he do with it? He didn't go around and just gallivant and just do dumb things. He made sure he provided. He bought himself a cheese pizza just for him because he was deserving. He was 8 years old. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm just so passionate. I'm slurring up my words. He had the wherewithal to call in and order a pizza. Oh, guys, this guy's a genius. And then he also was able to budget his money enough, well, Buzz's money, but he still was tasked with budgeting the funds to be able to replenish the household food and grocery items. He was able to purchase pizza with Buzz's life savings, purchase groceries. So, we see he has milk and bread. He bought him a macaroni and cheese, frozen dinner. He also brought detergent and then found enough money to treat himself with a little army toy. And we also see orange juice. I mean, what kid is going to go into the grocery store and purchase these items? If it were me, you would have seen chocolate chip cookies and Snicker bars. Maybe bread and peanut butter and jelly. But for the most part, I would have had trash in my grocery carts. But Kevin is different, okay? And then when the cashier was probing about his parents and his family, Kevin had the wherewithal to not dispose of any of his personal information. Because what? He doesn't talk to strangers. This guy is a great salesman and a great actor. I appreciate Kevin if nobody else does, right? Because this guy is from the suburbs, but somehow he learned to be street smart and had all the self-awareness. In addition to so, he reads the newspaper and clipped a coupon. You guys, I haven't clipped coupons since I was an adult. But 8-year-old Kevin knew how to budget and save money. These kids today are just plain stupid and lazy, if you ask me, okay? And to further prove that the world was not on Kevin's side, upon walking home with said groceries, the bags just break on him. Like, come on, what are we doing here? But that's okay, because Kevin picked up those bags and those groceries and went home and proceeded to do laundry. Now, if you don't remember, Kevin had multiple fears, and one of those fears was his basement and his furnace. But you know what? Kevin said, I don't have time for games. I'm home alone. I need to make sure these chores are done. So I'm going to go ahead and do laundry with the tide that I just purchased and budgeted with Buzz's money. And then he also, in the midst of this movie, was washing dishes. Oh my God, Kevin, I just can't believe, you are a hero. And so he also, in the midst of this movie, utilized audio from a rubbish movie that he just learned about. And that was a lot, giving him the opportunity to ward off Marvin Harv just for a little bit, which required multitasking, quick thinking, and precision, okay? Let's just get Kevin's resume together, all right? I'm just saying. Meanwhile, Kate, she was able to bribe some people to get her on a flight, okay? But now she's in Scranton, Ohio, I believe, okay? And there's currently no flights available. She's close to home, but not close enough. But thank God we have John Candy, okay, who plays Gus, the polka king of the Midwest. He decided to, use the Christmas spirit and bless Kate with a ride to Chicago, okay? So thank God for that. So she's going to get home to her baby, but it's going to take several hours, okay? So Kevin, he's not only doing chores, he's making sure he gets the holiday decor together, okay? He decides to go outside and chop up a Christmas tree and decorate the Christmas tree. And upon decorating, I should say, he sees said burglars through the door. So what does he do? He utilized his street smarts and tries to pretend that he's not home alone. He's like, Mom, Dad, can you come help me? Of course, the burglars do not buy it at this point, but Kevin is trying all he can. He's using all of the resources that he has learned from the past 8 years of his life to save himself and his family's home, right? And Kevin stopped hanging ornaments. And he decided to go to the west wing of the house and listen to what Harry and Marv are saying in their conversation outside. He had the wherewithal to see what the robbers were trying to think and plan. And he heard that they had plans to come back to the house at 9 o'clock. Okay. So Kevin readily, he immediately spun into action. Okay. We got to get things set in place, because what are you not going to do, Harry and Marv? Not ruin my family's Christmas and not kill me in the process. Okay. So Kevin, he decides to go see Santa. And you know what Kevin did? He asked for his family and pretty much took back all the wishes for the toys that he previously requested. He said, you know what, Santa? I need you to get my family back. And I know the person in front of me, you're not really Santa, but I know you work for him. So please and thank you, get my family back. Even Uncle Frank, even though he can stay where he needs to stay at. And then you know what Kevin does? The mature 8-year-old Kevin, he goes to church. Because Santa ain't enough for him. He's trying all of his options and avenues, okay? So he goes to church and prays to the good Lord for some answers, okay? And who does he see in church? Old man Marley. And you know what? He said, okay, I got to face my fears. So he has a conversation with old man Marley. And he actually realized old man Marley ain't that bad. He ends up counseling old man Marley. So now Kevin has to add therapist and morale booster to his resume at 8 years old. But you know what? He realized, oh, the time is dwindling down. I have to do some things, old man Marley, so I will catch you later. So he runs home from church to execute the booby traps of all booby traps, okay? You have to be intricate, thorough. You have to really understand how much you got to do to ward off 2 seasoned criminals. I mean, the booby traps that Kevin, poor Kevin, I swear, he just needs a medal and a Nobel Peace Prize, because he proceeded to create the most painful yet humiliating and entertaining booby traps of all times, okay? And then when he finished setting up, he said, you know what? I have to make sure I have a meal. It don't have to be nutritious. I just need to make sure something is in my belly. So he proceeds to make him a microwave dinner and have milk. So we have to make sure we are strong and have all the vitamins. But no, the clock struck 9 and he did not have time to eat. So mind you, the rest of this movie, Kevin is doing on the empty stomach, okay? And that always bothered me about it. Kevin did all this on an empty stomach. And I know he did not eat that food, which frustrates me as well, but I'm going to move on, okay? So we also have to keep in mind, we're dealing with 2 guys that Kevin has to ensure that the house is protected from, okay? So we are covering the front door, the back door, the basement, and the windows from said burglars. And this is not an apartment, you guys. This is a mansion, if you will. So he proceeded, he was effing Marv and Harry up. I mean, he was giving them the business. I mean, Kevin just utilized all the household products, all of the toys, all of the home improvement items that he could find, okay? Nothing was not wasted in this house, okay? Nothing at all. Oh my gosh. And then he proceeded to injure and delay the robbers while delivering threats and great one-liners. I mean, when he called them morons and big horse's ass, I mean, I was like, bravo, Kevin, bravo. And then once he determined that they had enough, he decided to call the authorities and head to the neighbor's house, because that's where the real setup was going to be. Because he probably thought enough, you know what, I'm not going to put this and put my family's home at the center of this matter. I am going to, transfer this issue to a neighbor's home. So when he called the authorities and headed to the neighbor's house, unfortunately, the robbers caught up with him. But one good thing about that word, karma, is also can be used for good and bad. Because the conversation he had with old man Marley was so touching. Old man Marley decided to save Kevin from said robbers. I mean, Kevin, we know old man Marley knew you were special. If your family didn't know, I know, and old man Marley knew, okay? So Kevin was taken home and he watched Harry and Marv get arrested, and he greeted them with a nice little wave, okay? I mean, Kevin saved the whole neighborhood, if you think about it. And then he decided to pour out some milk and cookies for Santa at the end of the night. I mean, Kevin had a long day, and he decided to still find time to have milk and cookies ready out for Santa. And did I mention he bought the milk? Yes, he bought the milk. He sure did. And then we have the next morning. Kevin just woke up with such full grace and, excitement, but he realized that his apparent wish to Santa and Jesus was not fulfilled because his family was not home, okay? And let me remind you, said home was spick and span. You would not have thunk that Kevin set 3,000 booby traps around the house because there was no evidence. This house was spick and span, okay? So approximately after about 35 seconds, we hear the door open. And who is behind said door? Kate, his mother. And of course, Kevin at first, he was a little salty. He was a little sad because they treated him wrong. But you know what, Kevin? He's not like that. He's a different child. He understood, you know what? It's Christmas. I'm going to let bygones be bygones. So what did he do? He greeted his mom with the hugest smile that you can ever get from an 8-year-old that has been through the things that Kevin has been through for the past 3 days. Oh, Kevin, we love you. We love you, Kevin. So a couple minutes later, the rest of the family trickled in because they took the flight from that Friday morning that was not available. Well, that was available for the family. So Kevin actually got to see his entire family on Christmas, okay? And so he got his Christmas wish. The only damage we had was Buzz's room, but that's okay. We can sweep that up and we can rebuild that wall. It's no problem. We were able to buy all the groceries and the household products we needed to sustain Kevin's life for at least 3 to 4 days. So Buzz, get over it, okay? And then we also see old man Marley reconnected with his family per Kevin's instructions and advice. So not only did he save his neighborhood, he saved another family. My God, Kevin. My God. Now, Peter did notice a gold tooth, which was Harry's gold tooth, on the ground. And he did ask his wife about it, but I'm pretty sure she was like, oh, I don't know where that came from, sweetie. So we didn't really get any follow-up about the gold tooth, but apparently it wasn't good enough. Because a year later, we actually go through the same, similar things in regards to Kevin. So this became a tradition. And hopefully next year I can come to you guys with the Home Alone 2 review, God willing, okay? But just a couple things before I get out of here. Like I stated earlier, I was a little frustrated because I felt like we could have had the police come to the house several more times. Okay, we have money, we have resources. Why didn't we get our politicians on the line? I understood it was a holiday, but we could have made things happen. And we were able to get a private plane. I feel like we was able to have someone in the city of Chicago check on our son. And then why did we never see Kevin's room? He was in his mom and dad room. He was in the attic. He was in Buzz's room. Where was Kevin's room? Was he really the stepchild? Was he really living in the basement somewhere because his family did not appreciate him? I don't know, you guys. These are questions that need to be answered. But I'm thankful to see another Christmas. I hope you guys had a great holiday. Please ensure you like this video, subscribe to all of the things. And, of course, I have more content available. So if you like this video, please feel free to subscribe and support me. Until next time, toodles.